The landscape, coach, in this country has dramatically changed. In fact, globally, it's changed. COVID-19. Just want to make sure you, the family, a lot of your colleagues at Stanford, how is everyone doing right now?
We're doing well. We're sheltering in place. We're staying in constant communication amongst our staff. Still looking at each other's families, make sure everybody's doing well. Kids are online Zooming in school, so we're into a different routine, but it is now a comfortable routine.
Coach, obviously in Northern California, you felt this immediately, faster than anybody in this country. How have you and your staff been able to find some sort of, in air quotes, normalcy among sheltering in place and doing your jobs?
Well, we heard that the possibilities of at least not coming back on campus, not coming back in the building before the whole shelter in place thing. So we started thinking about how can we stay in touch. So we got a lot of things that we can do remotely. We can get on our servers, which we've done for bowl games, et cetera. So that was set up. We all had to download this new thing called Zoom and try to figure it out because we wanted to communicate with each other, and then we're communicate with recruits. And then once they sent everybody home, we had to communicate with our own guys. So early on, we started setting up systems to be able to communicate with ourselves and our staff. But then also, okay, we still have to actively recruit. So we've got to use these tools and learn how to share your screen and still show video and do all those things so that we can coach our guys and still recruit and communicate with each other. So early on, we started having some ideas of how to do this, and I think we've almost got it down now.
Coach, later this week, I think all eyes in the entire country, even if you are kind of a casual, passive NFL fan who normally wouldn't watch the draft, you're probably watching the draft because there's not much else that's going on because we've all steamrolled through Ozark at this point on Netflix, and we're looking for something else. We have grown accustomed to seeing you on the set, NFL Network, and I know their coverage has dramatically changed, so you won't be doing that. But I do know in those early rounds, had you been on that set, you were going to be talking about Justin Herbert. So just explain to me kind of the draft prep for you at this point when you examine these guys and what you would have said about Justin Herbert when you were on that NFL Network set.
Well, the thing with Justin is you start as a scout, you start with all the things I'm looking for, right? We call checking boxes, right? Height, arm strength, does he have a repeatable motion? Is he athletic? Does he have a strong arm? Is he accurate? All those things you're looking for. And this guy checks all the boxes. And then you see, I used to keep a little box in the bottom of my thing that was just blank, just my initial impressions. And a lot of times I would just put, wow, there's a throw he made 2 years ago over two guys' hands in the back of the end zone, just on the money. You just write, wow, big time throw. And sporadically throughout the season, which doesn't have to be every single throw. You just want to see, can he make the big time throw? And he can step in there and make it. Is he perfect? No, but nobody else is. But is his ceiling high? And the answer is absolutely yes.
Staying in the Pac-12 North, seems like the ceiling for Jacob Eason is limitless. Has all the tools, it kind of fits the physical stature, I feel like, some Stanford quarterbacks. What do you think about him, and what would your analysis be of him as he enters the NFL?
He's one of those kind of enigmas because we all remember when he came out of high school and the comparisons were Andrew Luck, any of the big-time quarterback you can think of, Drew Bledsoe. It's what he looked like, an athletic Drew Bledsoe. No offense, Drew, out there. Love you, man. But that's what he looked like. And you saw it his freshman year at Georgia. He played so well, and then he got hurt. And another really good young quarterback stepped in there, and he came back to Washington. Where you didn't see the consistent big-time plays, but you saw it come out in spurts. So he's got that ability. He's got the size. He's got the athletic ability. But now you didn't see it as often as you saw with Justin Herbert. So he's still potentially in those first 3 rounds, someone could look at the size and stature and say, I'm going to throw a first-rounder on this guy. But he's got a high ceiling. He just hasn't shown the consistency that other guys have. But he would be a lot of fun clay to work with. There's no question about it.
Khaleel Tape, to me, is an enigma. Doesn't get invited to the Combine. Cover of Sports Illustrated 2 years ago. What are your thoughts about him and what's going on in the NFL with players that have his skill set?
Yeah, enigma is great for him because you've seen the high highs, you've seen the low lows, you've seen some great play, you've seen some inconsistent play. He gave a bad interview, a year and a half ago that I think he's kind of lamented about. Maybe I shouldn't have said what I said. So there's a lot of things that go in there. But the kid is an athlete. He's got a strong arm. He throws the ball accurately. He's one of those guys that Somebody's probably going to ask him if he wants to do a position switch, and be a running back, return man, etc., which I think he would be outstanding. I saw him go for 60 against us. I've seen him go for 70 running against other people. So he's got that athletic ability. If he wants to stick with quarterback, there will be a role for him someplace, I do believe. But he's got to play at a high level at all times to play in the NFL. But he's got the tools to do it.
Unfortunately, coaches couldn't go and go to pro days. So it wasn't a lot more to tune in other than the film. What have you heard? Because I'm sure you've had much direct conversation with guys around Colby Parkinson and what he showed on tape for you guys without a necessary pro day.
Well, I think the biggest thing is he went to the combine. He went to the combine and did well. I know he wanted to run faster, but I think the film is out there that he can make big plays down the field. 200-something yards receiving against Oregon State, big-time catches down the field against a bunch of different people, including Notre Dame this year. So that's not an issue. So I think what this has done, I told our guys the same thing about recruiting. We weren't able to go out and look at spring football. It makes you go back and watch the tape, right? It makes you go back and watch the games. So not being able to go pro day, let me put on 2 years of his film and watch this guy make plays over and over again. And what I've heard from people is, man, this guy makes some tough catches, this guy can get down the seam. This guy can jump up over people in the red zone. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a mismatch. And the NFL is who can I get the ball to, and that's going to make a play. And he's one of those guys. He can run past most linebackers, and he can jump over most safeties. So here's a guy that can play in that seam and be very, very effective.
Coach, you started this interview and we were talking about technology and how it's altering and changing what you guys are doing on the college football front. I know you are very close to a lot of guys in the NFL who are going to be involved in this draft process. Have you had conversations with them about how different it's going to be this year because of shelter in place, because of COVID-19, and really just using, multiple computers probably in front of them as they're trying to figure out what that next move is going to be?
Yeah, this is an operations person's nightmare. Trying to do a internationally broadcasted show on probably about 15 different locations, if you include the potential prospects, now you're talking about 30 different locations. And oh my gosh, hopefully somebody's Wi-Fi doesn't go down, right? Hopefully somebody's computer doesn't run out of gas and just blink out on them. So there's so many mitigating factors that might make this a ridiculous disaster, or it might be one of the coolest things you get a chance to see. But you said it early on, there's not a lot of live things going on right now. So people that are looking for something live to watch, we're going to turn into the watch the draft.